Corby's steel manufacturing industry spans over 90 years of history and has involved large numbers of people in lots of different jobs, from entrepreneurs and accountants to engineers and canteen workers. As part of the Steel Town Tales project, we spoke to a number of ex-steel workers about their experiences of working in Corby's steel industry and the impact it had on their careers and the lives of their friends and family. Corby's steelmaking was in itself its own industry. It involved many departments including financial, engineering, manufacturing, legal, operations, research and development, and even filmmaking. The prospect of work attracted people from all over the country, mostly from Scotland, and later all over the world, with workers even coming to Corby from Egypt. Many jobs required low levels of skill, and therefore workers were easy to find. Working in the steelworks was dangerous and therefore well paid, with workers being able to afford many luxuries for themselves and their families. It was often the case that male workers would migrate to Corby for work and put their names down for a house for their family to live in. Usually, after about 3 months, their families would move to Corby and join them in a new home. Working in the steelworks usually revolved around a shift pattern. This is where work would take place 24 hours a day, with the start and end time coinciding with that of another worker. For shift workers without families, they would often share accommodation, so that while one worker was working, another would be in bed. Those with office-based jobs weren't required to work shifts, and so would have a bed all to themselves. Office workers could be identified by the formal suit and tie-based clothing they would wear, and scientists working in the research labs would be seen wearing lab coats, while more manual workers would wear overalls, flat caps and later protective clothing. The steelworks were a very dangerous place. Not only was it very hot and workers were in close proximity to molten steel, there were big heavy machines that could cause injury. Workers lost limbs and in some cases their lives. Only as time passed did more and more safety procedures get put in place to help avoid further injury or death. At its closure in 1980, 12,000 people worked in the Corby steel industry, and by the end of 1981, 11,000 people lost their jobs. Corby still makes tube steel today, but most of its recognisable steel-making structures are no longer to be seen.